Hey everyone, welcome back to our day 3 coverage of KubeCon here in Atlanta. It's been an exciting couple of days. We've had a lot of guests. We've talked about a lot of things. But like any good conference, in-person conference, the best conversations take place in the hallways. And I've had a lot of those too, and I'll be talking and writing about that in the days and weeks to come. Let me introduce you, though, to our next guest. His name is Scott Rosenberg.
Hey.
Scott is with a company called Terasky, is that right? Excellent. Scott, welcome to TechStrong TV. It's great to have you here, man.
It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So we'll talk about Terasky, we'll talk about KubeCon, but let's take a moment talking about Scott. Give people a sense of who you are, where you've been, like your journey.
Yeah, so I grew up in Chicago, moved out to Israel, back in 2005, and really started my tech career around 2014, 2015. Started in the mainframe world.
Really?
They still exist today, apparently.
They will 20 years from now.
Exactly.
Too, believe me, they're not going anywhere.
It started there, moved into more the VMware, virtualization, private cloud area. And then all of a sudden around 2018, 2019, just this bug of Kubernetes hit me. That's when I joined Terasky as well.
Okay.
And ever since, I've been just working up in the Kubernetes space. I've been privileged to be a contributor to Kubernetes for 6+ years, working on a bunch of the other ecosystem tooling, Crossplane, Backstage, and like, what I'm known for, which is awesome, is I have never been into a single session at KubeCon that I'm not doing, because as you were saying, the hallway track are the most interesting conversations
Absolutely.
that there can possibly be, and you get to meet all these amazing people here. I can watch the sessions live, or the recorded sessions later on.
Absolutely.
And here I just want to get to meet the people.
Because you only have that window, right?
Exactly.
And then everyone goes back to their
And all
world.
these people I'm writing with on Slack every day, it's like you find
Well,
meet
once
them
you
in
meet them,
person.
right? That's a big thing too. You know what I find? People I meet on Zoom, they're always taller in real life than on Zoom. But
Exactly. They also have a body.
yeah,
It's
well,
like, it's amazing.
because you never,
never
it's
know.
hard to judge how tall someone is from here,
Exactly.
right? But anyway, you mentioned Backstage, and of course, Backstage Con this year was a big success. Platform Con here was also, you presented a Platform Con here.
And
on
a
Monday.
Backstage Con.
Oh, you did both?
I had 4 sessions this year at
Good for
KubeCon,
you.
so
Very
exactly.
good for
But
you.
yeah.
Well, why don't you share a little bit about what you presented on?
Yeah, no, so Backstage Con was really about building out a platform with Crossplane, Backstage, and trying to bring together the consumption layer and the operation side from Crossplane and trying to fix that. But like my favorite talk I gave this year was actually at Platform Con, which was with a amazing guy, Shemer Mashiach, from a company called Playtika. And they're a unicorn gaming company in Israel, amazing company. And we've been working with them for probably like 10 years or so.
Really? Okay.
And they're in Kubernetes since 1.5.
Oh, really? Okay.
So back in 2016. And really we talked about the journey that, I've been going on with him together, and how we have moved from a do-it-yourself chaos that happens with early adopters into a real full CNCF platform now, and all the benefits that it's brought them and what the challenges were. And it was an amazing conversation because it was the interweaving of the technology with the cultural elements and how it was able to be done with CNCF projects.
Love it. I love it. Scott, so at some point, it sounds like to me, you didn't say it, but you made the transition then to really platform engineering.
Exactly, right? That's basically what we did, right? It's so much of this was a cultural change, right? One of the challenges that we always see is DevOps. One of the reasons that there's that line, DevOps is dead, right? Which is it's a cute line.
It's marketing.
Exactly, but why is that kind of true? Because DevOps never reached its full potential. DevOps was supposed to be a culture and became the synonym for Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, whatever it is, right? And Kubernetes. And DevOps was a culture. Those tools fit well into that DevOps culture. what I love about platform engineering is that platform engineering really is an implementation way to make DevOps actually succeed. And the two are actually together. Platform engineering is a mechanism that allows us to actually bring DevOps to a fruition. Right? And that's what a platform helps with. And really what we did with them was, this was over a year project of assessments, of interviews, of gathering data, everything data driven, and really coming and understanding the different pains of each team, and then going and building out this platform together with the teams to get their buy-in to really restructure things around and build that full platform out from the ground up.
Got it.
Right? With the challenges of brownfield and large scale and all of that.
Real life.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Andrew Clay Schaefer is one of the, not founders, but a big name in the DevOps space. He always used to say, he still says, I guess, the DevOps you get is the DevOps you deserve. And part of that is because you're right. The heart of DevOps was culture. Right. It was how we interact in a team. And for too many people, they used to pay lip service to culture, and they'd what I call bag dive into the tech.
Exactly.
Yeah, culture, Jenkins. Exactly. Culture, GitOps. But they never really invested in the culture.
Exactly.
And I think the other thing is, if you look at DevOps that way, it's not meant to replace Agile.
No.
It wasn't supposed to be from the beginning of time to the end of time, right?
Right.
I think it needed platform engineering because it had to sit on something, right? Now now the way I look at the world, you've got the platform, right? So it's like on the first day God created the earth, right?
Right.
You got a platform.
Exactly.
It's one way of looking at it. Probably a little sacrilegious, but all right.
Oh, it's good.
But you got the earth. Now we can build on. Right, we could build it on. The second day we created developers and code. Exactly. And we do it in Scrum and Agile, and that's the best way, or monolith, right? But we had this code, or coders, and then we had ops, and it was like Cain and Abel almost, right? Very different. Right. DevOps tries to bring that Cain and Abel, if you will, it's not possible. Cain and Abel together, where it sits on top of the platform. Exactly. And Agile plays in there, and DevOps plays in there, and SRE is in there, and security and observability, and all these things that we build on this beautiful earth, this beautiful platform. Yeah. It's almost like we did it backwards, though, in that we brought the platform in after all these things were running around.
And I think the truth of the matter is, and this is like one of the things I've been saying in like a bunch of the platform engineering different communities, is that, having a platform is not a new thing.
No.
We have had platforms for decades. What we haven't had is a unified platform.
Right.
And that is the difference here.
And
platform engineering is the idea that we need to focus on the platform level instead of just having it as a given, and we have to unify that platform. Because what we had was a bunch of platforms in the past. And we did have platforms, but they were all disparate platforms, and we had chaos. What we want is now just, let's bring those platforms together into one unified one and build all of those tools on top of it, right? Which is, so many people say like, oh yeah, we want to build our first platform. I said, you have platforms. You want to evolve into a unified platform, right? And that's the key, I think.
Well, once we get it built, then we could rest for a day. But anyway, let's go. I want to move to IDP.
Yeah.
Right? Because you were backstage con. Right?
Just on that in IDP, though, I will say the tech world can't figure out acronyms for the life of them. Because what I always say is you connect with your IDP to your IDP to visualize your IDP. You have an identity provider to your internal developer portal to your internal developer platform.
Right.
Like, which IDP are we talking about?
I meant the internal developer platform, portal, and both.
Exactly.
But this, they used to say when I first became aware of this whole platform engineering movement, basically, if you got a handle on Kubernetes, you had a platform, right? And the engineer was doing that. I think that we've seen that focus change from, handling your Kubernetes cloud native sort of architecture to IDPs
Yeah.
in platform portal there. And it's interesting because it's some may say, well, it defocuses us from working, perfecting Kubernetes. We got enough people working here
Exactly.
to perfect Kubernetes. It's okay. It's not going to be
Exactly.
an orphan. But we are seeing that. But here's another thing. They say 2 people, 3 opinions.
Yeah.
And we're starting now to see differences of opinion, different communities.
Yeah.
We have platformengineering.org. They have a booth down the hall from me here, a couple rows back. I work very closely with Luca and the community.
Yeah.
We saw PlatformCon here put on by CNCF. They offer certifications. Those people offer certifications. Yep. Is this town big enough?
I think it is. I think that, obviously there's always going to be some challenges, right, and differing opinions. But I think it's very similar to what we saw in the GitOps world happen. When you had Weaveworks that had Flux, right?
Right, Flux.
Then you have Intuit that go and do Argo CD. And then you come out and Flux V2 comes out, right? And you have these 2 tools. You even have the other ones like on the side.
Yeah, no,
like
there are
Rancher
others.
Fleets
Yep.
and the Carvel Cap Controller. And you have some others.
We see it in Service Mesh too.
Right. But what ended up happening, they all come, right? They go in their own directions. They're figuring out what GitOps is. And then what happens? The Flux guys and the Argo guys come together and create the Open GitOps initiative, which comes as, great, this is what GitOps means. We're different implementations of the same thing, and that's fine.
And choice is good.
Exactly. And I think that this is healthy because having 2 organizations, having 2 groups, trying to figure out and really distill down what platform engineering really is and what its core tenets are is so critical, because once that happens, the 2 can come together. Let everyone go off on their own approach, similar to how people with agents, they run twice an agent when they're doing agentic.
Absolutely.
Let's see what we get and try it out.
But variety is the spice of life.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that's what open source is about too. It's about choice.
It is.
It's about freedom to decide, and if backstage the code doesn't work exactly the way I want it to, I'm free to change that too.
Exactly. It's right. And I like Backstage is one of the best, I think, proofs of like what a real like open source community is looking like, because what we've seen is like Spotify, when they built it initially and they contributed to upstream, they work in a very specific way. And then you had companies like VMware that came in, right? And they wanted to do something a bit different. And
Absolutely.
Red Hat came in. And you see these companies have differing opinions.
But it didn't stop Spotify from saying, you know what, we want to sell a commercial version of
Which
it,
is
our
awesome.
vision. And
Exactly.
it's all good. It's big enough for everyone.
And everyone can push it in
that
their
brings up
direction.
another question, though, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions for the platform engineering community is, do you want commercial IDPs like the Spotify Backstage, which kind of, it gives it to you in a nice package. It's all wrapped up nice. It looks good. It smells nice. Here you are, packaged, just add water. Right. Or do you want me to give you sort of that old time open source? Here's all your packages. You pick what you want, put it together, and it's a DIY kind of thing.
Right. So, it's a really great question. And it's like, it's something that we've been grappling with for a while with a bunch of our customers and the people that I'm talking to. And I think it really just comes down to there's no one size fits all, and it depends on the customer.
Yeah.
You can't be a jack of all trades.
No.
And therefore, in a company that's large enough, right? A big enough unicorn style company that has the ability to really go and fine tune that internal developer platform to be exactly how they want and can base it off of open source and can have a large enough DevOps team to maintain something like that, that's a very viable solution that's probably going to give them a better platform long term. Because there's a reason it's called an internal developer platform, because typically it's built internally. Right? Now, that doesn't mean that on specific components that you don't have the expertise on, you shouldn't buy an enterprise version of it, right? I think that, on the other hand, platform engineering can help so much in the smaller companies as well, right? And there, I think that you have to go with these commercial offerings.
The prepackaged.
because
they don't have the resources.
they don't have the resources, and they don't hit the challenges
No.
that these platforms can't
And
cover.
scale and stuff
right?
like that, yeah. I
If you
agree.
have 50,000 nodes in Kubernetes, I promise you that most of the paid solutions out there
Don't-
ain't managing it well.
No.
You're going to need to figure it out yourself.
Agreed.
But if you have 50 nodes in your environment, I promise you
Should be
any of
fine.
those IDPs out there are
Should
going to
be
be able
fine.
to help you. So
Agreed. Hey,
Yeah.
man, I appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming on
Awesome.
here.
This was
Scott,
great.
for people who want to maybe follow you or
Yeah.
stay on top of it, what's the
Yeah.
best web
Yeah,
place
so
to do it?
I've got a blog, vrabbi.cloud. You can check me on weekly podcast together with Victor Farsick on the DevOps
Victor's my
Toolkit.
friend. Tell Victor I said hi.
I
I'm a
will.
good friend, a good old friend of Victor.
Victor's great.
He is a great
exactly.
guy.
And, so we do an Ask Us Anything on every Thursday, basically.
Very cool.
And reach me out on Kubernetes Slack, CNCF Slack, Crossplane Slack, LinkedIn.
Any of them.
Exactly, all over. Love the community and great being here with you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank
We'll
you.
come back again. Hey, we're live. We got more coming to you as we wrap up our day 3 coverage here of KubeCon, CloudNativeCon. This is Alan Schimmel. Stand by.